this game. Clemson didn't, but no problems running the ball today, Lige.
Phil Maffa, my goodness, 36 carries, $186, 2 touchdowns. You have to love what Dabo Swinney decided to do. We're going to win the physical battle in the trenches. We don't have Will Shipley, but we have our big physical running back in Phil Maffa. DK, we kind of talked about this game, and we said this wasn't about Clemson. It was more about Notre Dame's offense. And yet, they still continue to struggle. Sam Hartman, right? 2 interceptions on this game. Now, he did run the ball well. I believe he had over 60 yards and a big rushing touchdown. But he continues not to play well. And we always wondered, if Notre Dame's defense wasn't up to par, will Sam Hartman and the offense be enough? It wasn't enough today, and they lose a game on the road.
That was when we talked about this game before. I like Dabo's culture that he's built, that he's established over a period of time. And their team has undergone some significant adversity, right? This is a 4-4. They have not been in this position in about 12 years. And all of a sudden, their backs are against the wall. That is a dangerous opponent. They're at home. Notre Dame got the full force of the Clemson Tigers because they came out angry, agitated. And I do think Dabo's rant was for a very specific purposes. We see this, Nick Saban do this all the time. You call out somebody. It doesn't have to be your player. It's just something that motivates, wakes up your team, and they did. I also love the game plan because Shipley was out, as we talked about. Doesn't matter. Like, we're all going to play better around him. So you took some of that pressure off of Cade Klubnik's shoulders. You established the run. And, boy, the defense stepped up, too, when they had to.
Klubnik, 13 of 26 for 109, a touchdown and an interception. Sam Hartman, as Lige mentioned, not a great day for him. 13 of 30 for him, 146, 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. What has happened to Sam Hartman?
He's played against better teams, Jeremy. Like, that's the reality. I mean, the first 4 games or so, he came out on fire. His Navy, Tennessee State, NC State, Central Michigan. And then, Ohio State, he played okay. Then Duke's a really good football team. They found a way to win that one. But remember, that game was very tight late in the game. Against Louisville, really, that's when it kind of the decline started because he had those interceptions on that game, national stage. And then USC was really won by the defense.
Yeah.
So I just, it's you hate to put it on one, but the expectations around some of these transfer quarterbacks, so they're just going to step in and figure it all out, and they're going to bring you home to the promised land. It's going to be a process because you have to learn the system, you have to learn your personnel, you have to learn to develop some continuity with your teammates. And I think we've seen that. This is sort of typical of what you would expect for somebody first time in a system that's out there. So I thought Sam Hartman was going to play a little bit better all season long, the experience that he brought to the table. But I think ultimately, it shows you that one person, one quarterback is not going to be the solution to all your problems.
When you look at Notre Dame now, Lige, I mean, 7-3. You're at 15. You're going to fall down in the rankings. Where do you go from here for your Marcus Freeman?
I mean, you have to finish the season strong. You already knew going into this game you weren't going to be in the college football playoffs once you got that second loss. And to Danny's point, they thought Sam Hartman was going to be the missing piece for them to make a run at the college football playoffs. So now you really get to see, like, Marcus Freeman, does he have the players' ears, right? Because, DK, you know this, when you're expected to compete for college football playoffs and that no longer is going to happen, what do you do the rest of the season? Do you shut it down or do you continue to go out there and fight? So we'll see if Marcus Freeman can really galvanize his team the last 2 games. A game at Wake Forest, at Stanford. Those are 2 games you should win.
Well, your back's against the wall now in terms of the pressure and finishing strong. Wake Forest certainly not going to be easy for them, but Notre Dame have to recover, and they have to recover quickly. Leger Duzable and Danny Cannell talking about our first upset of the day. Notre Dame falling to Clemson 31-23 as the Tigers avoid their first 3-game losing streak since 2010. Big win for Dabo and company. They had not lost 4 in a season, or so they've lost 4 in a season for the first time since 2011, but get the win today, covering the spread and the over hits.